Hi guys, and welcome again. Today I have completed my first 7,000 kilometers on my Sram Red eTap group set. So I decided to talk about some long-term experiences today. Let's start at the front of the bike, and probably the most important and complex part of group set, the levers themselves. But actually on an eTap group set the levers are very simple. They're just a pair of switches which operate the shifters and of course a brake lever. There's not really much going in there, which results in a nice slim shape which actually suits my small hands quite well. Another feature that suits my small hands quite well is the fact that you have a massive amount of reach adjust on the brake lever. So I use mine all the way in. That has a drawback of that, well, you don't really have all that much cable pull available, so you end up with a quite a squishy feeling brake because it steps in really late in the stroke. But I found this really comfortable, so that's what I stick to. One little downside of the adjustment is that it basically dramatically changes the amount of in a cable you pull. So that means every time I would adjust my reach I would need to readjust my wedge on the edge of the cable right there. Not that much of a problem with the regular brake, but quite difficult with these wedge operated integrated brakes that I have here. One more comment to the lever hoods. The rubber on them super sturdy, super grippy, and from more than a half a year of use it shows absolutely no signs of wear. I found the Shimano ones tend to show some signs of wear at this point, but this one is just rock solid. It's also quite stiff, so maybe not as comfortable, but my hands pretty rough from riding motocross back in the day, so I don't really mind and I like the extra grip that they provide. The lever blade itself is extremely stiff compared to Shimano units, so that's something I really like. There's no play laterally or very little, so you get nice positive feedback on there. And as I said, stiff, nice big lever, so I like that for braking. The pedals, shift pedals, also really sturdy, nice heavy mechanical clunk on there, so you can basically, well, it's impossible to miss shift really. I'm sure you already know this, but just to recap on the eTap system, you go shift down the cassette on the right, you shift up the cassette on the left, and you use both pedals together to shift the front and rear, because there's only really one way for that one. Some people mentioned that there's a lack of adjustability of functions compared to the i2. That's true, although I think this shift logic is pretty much flawless. The shift speeds and variations on there, they're not adjustable, but I don't think they need to be. One minor detail I think SRAM could add is synchro shift, or something like synchro shift from Shimano, is that you get automatic front derailleur shifting based on where you are on the cassette. That, I think that will be a nice little addition. Recently I have also added a pair of grip shifts, and these are basically satellite shifters, small buttons. I have a separate video on them, so I'll post a link down below. These are small rubberized units, not quite as subtle as you can see, not quite as supple as Shimano ones, but they also give a very good, very nice tactile feedback, similar to the shift pedals, and they work in exactly the same way. So use the right one for downshift, the left one for upshift, and you press them both together for a front shift. I found these really useful in this position in the drops, particularly when attacking some technical descents. I use them in a way that normally you can pull the brake, but you then can't really shift. It's quite uncomfortable, but this way I found that I can shift to an easy gear while braking at the same time, so I have the perfect gearing for the exit of the corner. Particularly good for racing, and also when riding faster than drops. So I really like the blip shifters. You can have two pairs two pairs on the bars, so you can have a sprint shifter like me and a climbing shifter, but I don't really ride on the tops at all, so I don't use those. Okay, so now let's just go to the front shifting. As you can see, I have already upgraded my chain catcher to K-Edge. The Madone has a standard chain catcher, which is not very good, but this is not because the SRAM shifting would be rubbish. Quite the opposite, but I found that with different chain rings it doesn't work very well. So the shifting is flawless as long as you use SRAM's own yaw specific chain rings, because the front derailleur with SRAM has a design that not only moves inboard and outboard, also kind of skews to follow the chain line, so you get basically no chain rub no matter the gear you're in at the rear, and you don't need to trim at all. So yeah, that's definitely a good thing, but again, as I've said, you need to use the SRAM yaw chain rings to get reliable shifting. Shimano ones also work quite well. Canon the hologram chain rings also work, but I have great troubles with rotor chain rings. They shift rubbish with SRAM eTap, so definitely keep an eye on that. One thing I would really like for SRAM to add is a complete standard gearing for the compact BCD, so there's no 5339 option for the 110 BCD. I think that's a shame, but still very good gearing options. You can go basically from cyclocross gearing to mid compact like I have here. Yeah, front shifting flawless, as with most electronic shift systems. You don't get the trim either, so that's even nicer. The crank, I use the Quark power crank here. I have had separate reviews and videos about this, so I post a link. But to summarize, real nice reliable unit, good value for money on a very nice, very stiff carbon crank. GXP interface, so fits 99% of the frames. Then if you get to the rear of the bike, rear derailleur, I like the fact that SRAM offers a long cage and a short cage version, or more precisely a mid cage and a short cage. The short cage, officially it goes up to 28 teeth, in reality 32 is fine. The mid cage, they say it's up to 32, in reality it can take, I think with proper adjustment, I think even a 40. I haven't really tried that yet, but I think it would work because that's a really nice capacity derailleur here. You can mount the ceramic speed oversized pulley system to both, which is a high performance option, not really required, but I have it here for maximum performance. It does dull down the shifting a tiny amount, but nothing serious, and it also makes it possible to use big cassettes. Rear shifting a bit slower than Shimano, not quite as adjustable, but I think it's really reliable and perfect for the job. It's a bit more precise because of the slower shifting speeds, but I like the feel of it. I like the positive feedback, and I haven't experienced any jumping or improper shifts or anything like that in these couple thousand kilometers. What I really like about the SRAM system is the ability to fit these cassettes. This is the X-Dome design Sram Red cassette. I also have a separate video about this, probably my favorite part of the group set. It doesn't ruin your freehub body because it uses a monoblock design, super light, and it goes from 11 to 32, so you have big ranges, 1130, 1128, so nice big climbing cassettes, good efficiency, good cadence. Yeah, I really rate that. Okay, so these are my experiences with the Sram Red eTap group set so far. I really like it. I prefer this to Shimano. Currently, I've used Shimano before a lot, but I think this is the better option. The wireless compatibility makes bike building and maintenance a breeze. Setup super quick, super easy, reliable, no problems so far, even though I've ridden it in very gritty conditions in the winter. So overall, I'm really satisfied with it, and I really hope that this helps you with buying and choosing your own group set. If you'd like to know more about my bike and the stuff I use, then don't forget to tune into the channel and subscribe. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.